like to take a look at two-story problems now involving percentages. What I'd like to share with you, though, is a phrase that I'd like to do when I look at these story problems. You should always get familiar with the problems and think about, especially percentage problems, I'm usually taking some percent of a total amount to get a portion, as long as my percentage is less than 100%. It's pretty common, not always though, when we're talking about the cost of an item and how its selling price is valued in a store. Sometimes they raise the cost to the retailer by some 200%, but often that's not the case. So I like to use this sentence in solving the story problem. The story problem: at one point in a recent season, Peyton Manning of the Indianapolis Colts had completed 357 passes. This was 62.5% of his total attempts. I'm adding a word in here, of his total attempts. How many attempts did he make? So I want to know, based on, let's go over here, his total number of attempts, and he makes some percentage of those total, and these would be his successful passes that would happen here. So he completed 357 passes. That was the portion. Let's write this down. His portion, he completed 357 passes of some total number of passes. We don't know how many that is. And his percentage in this, I'm just going to go ahead and put here, his percent completion rate was 62.5%. So with this in mind, we're going to take 62.5% of some total. Well, we don't know what his total is. Here's that word is, equals 62.5% of his total, and he completed 357 passes. That's a portion. So a portion equals a percentage times a total is how I regularly like to advocate you think about this if you struggle with it. And let's divide both sides by 0.625. And we'll find out that X, which represents his total number of passes, it's 571.2. We better call that 571 passes is the number he made, and he completed 357 of those. Let's do one more before we finish this clip. Sue left an $8 tip for a meal that cost $42. So, you know, you go out to eat all the time. We're trying to get familiar with this problem. And that meal's total cost was $42. So all I want to figure out is what percent of the cost of the meal was the tip. So I'm wondering, you know, what portion, you know, that $8 tip, what portion was it, what percentage was it of that $42 total cost? And so that's all we have to do here. I want to figure out the percentage the tip was of the total cost of the meal. And so this is X times 42. Let's go ahead and write it as 42X equals 8. And let's divide both sides by 42. And that is 0.19, and you can now say that Sue left a 19% tip for that meal.